Hello, everybody, and welcome to CONSERVATISH episode 178. My name is Peter Feliciano, and make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Make sure you share this with your friends and family and fans. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/conservatish or just Venmo me, Peter-Feliciano. Find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Find me on Facebook and on Twitter. And I love you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the gay is late, but at least we have one gay who's Asian right now. You can tell from is that a rabbit or a chink?
I'll give you a hint. One eats the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Hughes. Yay!
Actually, I've eaten rabbit before. I wouldn't do it now because they're a bit too cute, but it's actually not bad. You ever had it?
I don't know if I have, but that seems strange that you would do that because you're a ferret guy. Ferrets are pretty close to rabbits.
Listen. There's been some sexual assaults that I got away with that live with me to this day, but that rabbit, I don't know, man. Those sexual, like that rabbit, man.
Did you sexually assault the rabbit before you ate it, or no?
Never. I would never do that.
Bitch. Where can people find you, by the way?
At Mark Hughes Comedian or at Mark Hughes Comic while I'm still on social media. I get banned all the time, so I have a feeling my accounts are going to be gone soon.
Yeah, you just got off of you're fresh out of a Facebook arena.
30-day stint in Facebook County. Yeah. It's not that hard, man. Even when you misspelled a word, they fucking ding you now. Because they program the algorithms to keep up with all the cool kids, eh? So
right. Let me just text the other queer besides you and I to let him know that we're recording right now.
Okay.
Mike Harlow is joining us, by the way, boys and girls. He's coming soon. Let me put a smiley face so he feels better about himself. And let's see. So you left Vancouver. Congratulations.
Yeah, yesterday.
Fucking A. Where are you now? Edmonton?
So I'm in the province, as they call states here in Canada, that is like the Alabama of Canada. And when I say that, it's like the hack punching bag province, where it's like any mean thing you can think of, you're allowed to say about Alberta.
Right.
Yeah, you're socially licensed to. Like, they're all inbred and
right.
Everyone's a member of the KKK there, right?
In Edmonton? No, there's no KKK
Alberta.
members.
There's no KKK anywhere. It's all bullshit. But the KKK isn't a group. It's an attitude. It's a way of it's in your heart, right?
It is, yeah. You're either born with it. I guess you can learn hate. They always say, but I think you're,
but that Alberta's anyway. That province it's the one that like people just it's rednecks. Oddly enough, most people here I know own property, and most of the faggots in Vancouver who make fun of Alberta don't. Interesting. It's always funny, and they have jobs in Alberta too, often as well.
One thing I've noticed about fucking Canadians is, for the most part, you're very kind, tip well, blah blah blah, except for when it comes to opinions about other provinces. Like there's been so many times where I'm talking to somebody from Canada and it's just like blah blah blah, shooting the shit, blah blah blah, and then you mention Newfoundland and fucking Newfies, or fucking this, fucking that. That's when the venom comes out.
Yeah. Canadians are a smug bunch.
Yeah. Why is that? You don't have any reason to be. You don't have, like, at least England, they could hang their hat on the fact that they ran the world for a long fucking time.
You know what it is? It's because little brother syndrome. Oh, there he is. Look, can you hear us, Mike? Oh, he's connected to audio.
He's connected. Hi, baby.
Can you hear us?
Talk. I can't hear you. 1 second. Okay, he says 1 second. You look lovely, Michael.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear us.
I think he can hear us. He just can't. We can't hear him. Anyway, Canadians, it's little brother syndrome. because we're actually, well, we're like the offspring of England and the little brother of US
America, right?
Yeah. And we're not the States. Like, there's so many things about the state. You know, the States, it's the superpower, it's the major media, et cetera, et cetera. And Canada's always just kind of like.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Yay! Hey, sorry, I'm a friggin' grandma.
Hi, Grandma. How are you?
Hi, babies. I missed you guys.
We're very missable.
Mike looks like he's the lead singer for an 80s band called Tears for Queers.
Yay!
Oh, I missed you guys.
Shout, let it all out. We were talking shit about Canada, but before we do that, where can people find you, Michael?
I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Mike Harlow. I have Facebook. I have the Instagram at Sleepy Harlow, wherever I'm yet to be banned.
Yeah.
I feel like the hammer's coming down on me with Facebook.
That's what Mark was just saying too.
Really?
For different reasons. Him because he's an actual powerhouse.
I'm a
He
powerhouse?
traded in the fucking bathhouse for the powerhouse.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I know.
That's true. No, here's the difference. The bathhouse, at least, well, it's maybe a different powerhouse than Mike's actually in, but I was thinking like the difference between the bathhouse and the powerhouse of like politicians is politicians that have to be quiet when they want to suck a penis. You know what I mean? At least in the bathhouse, you can be like, you could tap your toe or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what the rules are, but
Mike's gonna become something. He's just, I don't know. It's fucking head of sanitation or something. I don't know. You're gonna be a
Head of sanitation. Oh God.
I don't know.
Forbid.
I don't know. Something. But he gets banned because for real reasons, like because they're scared of him because he's got like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I get banned for saying faggot.
No, I get banned for that too. It's funny. I had Facebook the past couple months and just been like going through every old post of mine, and it's usually for saying faggot.
I was telling Peter, even if you misspell it on purpose now, the algorithm got me and when I misspelled it. So
that's so stupid.
Yeah. And that's what's so dumb too, is that I remember the one you were talking about that you got banned from for last year, Mike, is because you were reiterating the story of a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters chasing you down the street and calling you a faggot. And yet for some reason you got banned because you spelled out the word.
Yeah, well, what's funny too is even in ones where I haven't used the word is they went back, like a decade or whatever. And anytime that I had posted in the past from like 2010 or 2013, if it's ever happened that like when I got mugged, for example, and I like talked about what happened, suspended for that. So are Facebook's rules that anyone who's the victim of a crime can't talk about it?
One of the problems with Facebook is I was having a discussion with someone because people will always message me when I get banned, right? And they'll be like, oh, they want to know the rules and how to avoid it. And here's the thing. When you click yes on accept their terms and conditions, one of the terms and conditions is we can change the rules anytime we want.
Yeah.
So there is no loophole. There is no, because they could just go, no, this week we decided we don't like this. Because again, and I don't want to sound like a faggot, but it is a private company.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, you sound like a faggot. Now.
Okay.
Fuck off.
I love my show.
AT&T is a private company, and they can't just, take your phone service away if they don't like what you say on the phone.
Okay, then why did you sign accept to the conditions then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think, I don't mean you, but like, I feel like Republicans and people who are non-left leaning have just taken so freaking long to get on board with the fact that something has to be done about this.
I think personally it's got to be an alternative. It's not going to be the present thing.
I don't know. I think, and maybe just because I'm truly, I say it all the time and people don't believe me, I'm not a conservative, and maybe this is where that shows, but I flat out think we need laws.
Well, I think what really chaps my ass is leather chaps. No, what chaps my ass is the idea that nobody has stepped up yet. In a world of capitalists, in this non-liberal, like we appreciate capitalism, how has everyone dropped the ball? Even stupid ass Parler Like it wasn't. It was not right. It was not the government that killed Parler. It was trying out Parler that killed Parler because you tried it out for like 5 seconds. You're like, this is bullshit. This is stupid.
Yeah,
I don't like
it's
this.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it looked like the cutting edge technology of 1996.
Right.
Well, that's the thing, but I still think like, why do we have to use Facebook? Why can't there just be like, why don't we all just migrate over to something else? That's the problem.
Well,
I think
I don't know.
why do we keep on allowing them to abuse us? Why don't we leave like battered women?
Here's what it is. I think part of the problem is that when we moved over from MySpace to Facebook, it was organic. It wasn't because we were running away from an ideology or whatever. It's because you weren't cool unless you were on Facebook. And as gay as that is, it's the truth. It's because that was the cool place to be. And MySpace got boring.
But cool will always get
MySpace was
corrupted
amazing.
every fucking time. Anything that becomes popular will get corrupted every fucking time.
Absolutely, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, that's why we haven't transitioned yet, because nothing has
and that's why I'm so adamant about, like, one of the things I'm tired of hearing about is, and I've started talking about this, is complaining about cancel culture. Oh, did you see so-and-so got canceled? Did you? Yep, that's what they fucking do. Have you not been paying attention for the last 5 years? And it's not getting better. So why aren't we creating our own things? Why aren't we going, we're not using your gay fucking platform anymore. We're going to have our own fucking platform, rather than begging them to try and stop doing that, which they're not going to, right?
Well, there was a country recently, I forget if it was
Poland.
Sweden or Poland, who fined Facebook for censoring free speech. So why aren't we doing that? But no, I think honestly, like, if I don't know, it's almost as if the opposition to this doesn't want anything to change or doesn't want anything to get better, because, you know, I'm sorry, like, some people aren't going to want to hear this, but even Trump didn't do anything about this for 4 years, not in a real way. I mean, this should have been their number one priority for so long, and they're still not doing anything about it except the same old talk, like you said. Right. So
complaining on Twitter,
if you want to get like super conspiracy about it, it's like, ooh, maybe they're in on it and don't want anything to change. I don't know.
I've always wondered. I mean, now that what's her face got canceled from what's it called? What the fuck's it? Oh yeah, the man. What's her face? Yeah. So she went and got a thing with Daily Wire, right? And I'm just thinking, why the fuck did, and Daily Wire's like, yeah, we're going to be a movie production company, and we're going to, and it's like, yeah, I know. So we'll get to that in a second. So, but okay, in theory, let's just say the philosophy of it. Why did it take so long? How come a conservative thing has never popped up? And I've talked to Peter about this before. Why do you think, okay, Mike, just one sec. I'll acknowledge that they're probably all in on it together, but let's just we'll put that one aside. Why do you think conservatives are so reluctant to ever start anything art or entertainment related? They have money.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the fact it goes so far beyond art or entertainment related, is that they don't fund anything. Like, even just look at the last election. Over the past couple years, there's been such an incredible groundswell of people like us, really, on the cultural side, really speaking about these things, and especially, you know, all different types of people. It's such a diverse crowd and stuff. That the Republican Party should have been championing all of us, every person. I'm not saying us specifically, but every single person like that. They don't do anything. They don't fund shit. They don't do anything. They don't build anything. They're just useless. And it's funny because when I was a Democrat, I always thought, oh, Republicans are like the big money people who put all their, they don't do anything. I wish that were true.
I think it's two things. I'm going to add two things. Number one, yes, they're big money people, but they're also big libertarians. They want, let's be real, not libertarian as far as they're libertarian as far as like, I'm getting the capital and I'm going to make my family, my company, my stuff better. And you know what? The vagaries, the problems with having that type of stuff is that we don't have groundswell. You know what I mean? The reason why the left is really good at it is because it's all feelings. It's no fact. And so it's when it's all feelings, you can get dumb little fags from fucking Brooklyn to go like, I believe the black people are having a hard time. Let's go out in the street. So that's number one. And number two, I think and I'm going to suck each one of our dicks right now. Part of the benefit, part of the problem with the right or the non-liberal side is that for a long time, the non-liberal side has been fucking uncool, fucking boring. I guarantee Daily Wire movie is going to be about Jesus or some bullshit. It's going to be about, it's going to be about abortion or whatever. And hey, make your movie, but none of them are fucking cool.
It's even, no, dude, it's even worse than that. Check it. So they had a movie already. They've had one, Daily Wire's released one, Run, Hide, Fight. It's about a school shooting, right? Okay, it's even worse than what you said. Okay, first things first, strong female role. Second, black like supporting guy, best.
Did he die? Did he die?
No, of course not. Let me fucking set the joke up, faggot. Fuck. Okay. Quit interrupting. So black supporting actor, best friend guy in a small town in like Midwest America. And I'm like, okay, school shooter. So it's about a school shooting, right? Which sounds okay. That's kind of neat. So that's kind of neat. It's awesome. She thwarts the school shooting. Guess what sexual orientation two of the school shooters were? Out of nowhere, just all of a sudden.
Really? Oh, I gotta watch this movie.
Didn't further the story at all. Was completely fucking unnecessary. And I'm like, did you guys just buy a movie that was made for Netflix? Like that's what it like. It didn't like. What's conservative about this? Like it, and I'm just, you know what it is. Okay, here's my theory. I think most conservatives, like maybe not even the social conservatives, I think are beginning like this. They're all afraid of being called bigots, eh? Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mike? You're around a lot more in some ways because you're a Republican, a proud Republican.
I don't know about proud.
I know.
I'm what do you think? Republican. Yeah, it's totally true. I don't know. As someone who I've been, I've been working on for a while, starting a film production company, and we're finally getting started with that in the next couple months, which is difficult for people who have no money, but we're just going to do a very DIY style. And I don't know. I think, at least for what we're doing, I think the thing is, it's not a conservative production. It's just anti-left. So I don't know. I think that is the only thing that's going to change the culture, is to sort of have it be, like Pete said, something cool and sexual and violent, and not like playing into everything that they want.
But that's again, like you were saying, Mark, are you saying that they should be more conservative? No, you're just saying, why have the shoehorned liberal?
Here, let me just clarify my political position. The political side that's against free speech, whatever one that is, I'm the opposite of. So whatever one is currently against free speech. So I'm pro-choice. I'm not like the fucking losers, but like I'm libertarian that way. Most of the points I'm actually left on. I hate fucking saying it though, because
I know,
right? Or the immediate apology. Oh, I'm not conservative. Like you just can't. Like I hate that. So I just say I'm conservative, but I'm not really.
Yeah.
But whatever the one that's against free speech, I'm not with them.
Right.
So that's. So I don't know. To answer your question, Peter, does a thing need an outlet or a platform need to be conservative? No, but the conservatives seem to be the only ones. But they're not, I guess, though. Right?
Well, here's the thing.
I think he's saying, like, because for me, honestly, before all this shit started, every single one of my favorite movie characters, they're all badass women, but you didn't see the agenda. I think Mark is saying in all these things, it's not organic female characters. It's not organic gay characters. You don't want to see the fucking agenda on screen.
Here's what I think might be part of the problem is that, and this might be partially because they're just new at it, hopefully, but it goes through every type of art, and this, probably both of you know this. Frank Zappa used to say, back in the day, back in the 50s, 60s, the reason why a bunch of experimental music got made is because the people with money, the producers, the A&R people, they said, I don't know what these kids want. Let's put these creatives and let these creatives do whatever they're going to do, and we'll see if it works. And that way that happened. The creative, experimental, crazy shit happened, and it was a revolution in art. But then those hippies got older And now the hippies, the old hippies, think that they know, they still think they have their finger on the pulse. And now those uncreative cunts who were, just hippies who they asked, what do you like musically? Now all of a sudden they're in charge, and the triangle gets inverted, where instead of a bunch of creatives being at the helm of what we're going to do artistically, now it's a bunch of suits. And let's be real, even if they had a bunch of creative people at the Daily Wire, it's still going to be that same way. But even then, an additional problem: Ben Shapiro is not creative. People in there, even the funny people on that show they're not funny people. You know what I mean? So they need more creatives like the three of us, hello, to be more out there, but they're not going to. And maybe part of that is because it's still a new company. They still are coming from the executive place of mind rather than the creative place of mind.
Like I said, I think this is something that goes way beyond just art and culture. Is that it's mind-boggling to me how they could possibly be so useless. I don't know. Like, even when you think about the election, I mean, the question I've had this whole time with the election results and stuff is, why wasn't all of this dealt with for months and years and years and years before the election?
And this is where I don't think we can count on the system anymore at all. I'm nihilistic about it. I'm like, I'm up here in Canada. We're going commie real fucking fast up here.
Oh, so are we now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. It looks like it's a race, actually.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a race. And not I wish it was a race war, not a.
Well, there is all the Asians getting attacked by all the fucking blacks.
Not in Canada.
No one wants to talk. No, not in Canada. No,
not in Canada.
We win.
And they own everything. All they do is up the rent prices if the blacks do that. Right?
You mean by white supremacists?
Yes.
Hey.
In Oakland, the Oakland white supremacists.
Yeah.
It's because Trump called it the China virus. No, it's because black people are being selfish cunts. Tell it like it fucking is.
Sorry to interrupt your hate speech. South will rise again. I don't trust anything that, let's say, just for an arbitrary date, anything that predates 2020. So any established anything, platform, media, system, party, it's useless as far. I think the way the world's going right now, because Peter probably sees this too, but in comedy, one of the things I've noticed is it's everything I've learned in comedy and everything, all the stuff I've seen in comedy is now starting to be everywhere in life, right? It's almost like it's a microcosm of the rest of society. And I'm starting to see it in government. I'm starting to see like these fucking wieners who do all the booking and producing and talent directors in comedy. They're not, like Peter said, they're not creatives themselves. They're SJW types or yuppie. Not even like real SJWs. They're more like those yuppie ones who like they're good at schmoozing and they're good at like relationships and stuff like that.
Ew.
And they, because it's even if it's not commie in fact, it's commie in philosophy. They go, because communism is all based on like, we don't care how good it is, how worthy, how meritorious it is. We only look after the party. So if you're cool or you're woke or whatever the fuck, right? So again, in comedy, then extrapolate that to everything else. I don't see the system fucking changing. I think it's just getting worse. So I think the only thing to do is, rather than go, because for years it was like, if I work hard enough, I get funny enough, eventually that ain't gonna happen. I have to work in a different system now. I don't want to go and say create a different system, but just not work within that system. So some of the shit like Conservatish, my podcast, these are minor examples of it. Unfortunately, still using YouTube, still using Instagram, and at any time unplug, right? So for the best way to describe it is, I'm never really going to get mainstream comedy work. It's not going to happen, period. That's the end of the discussion. But I like doing comedy enough where I will do it underground, and I've given up on the hopes of a career out of it. I'm just going to do it for the sake of doing it now, right?
Well, it's the same thing with me. Like, and that's why, I've had so many friggin' doubts over the past year, 2-3 years of like, oh my God, have I ruined my life?
Yes.
The toothpaste is out of the tube. There's no having a normal life now. And I always try to remind myself that even if I never said one single word about politics, even if I were still a liberal Democrat, it would not have mattered unless you just submit and obey. How many people have we seen canceled who were liberals and they said one thing that they didn't like? So just being who I am and who you guys are, you know, for example, like the series that I wrote, we were pitching it to Amazon a couple years ago. I was still a Democrat. I was still a liberal, never said one fucking word about politics. I got a letter from the Gay Defamation League, bring the boot. They were it literally said, we will fight you every step of the way in getting this made. So that's what I try to remind myself. It never would have mattered. I'm just not the type of person who can conform to them. So that's why I think we just need to bring the underground to the above ground.
I agree, and that's part of the reason why. I mean, I say it in all kinds of ways or whatever, but like that's why I decided to be all the way transparent when it came to this. I didn't want to like, okay, I'll be super free speech except I won't say nigger. You know what I mean? Like I needed to be absolutely myself.
What was that word?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It would make sense that the fucking first dick exposed on this show was yours. But I need
timestamp on here for when they're gonna come get us.
I know, right? I love
it.
Year
2030.
But that's exactly that. Absolutely makes my point. Is that I wanted to be all the way out, you know, because I really believe that's the way. I'm not saying that Mark is wrong when it comes to it being a fucked system, blah, blah, blah. But I think part of the way to fight against it is absolute transparency for those who are willing to be that. I'm not saying everybody needs to be like Mark or you.
But okay,
but like for me, I wanted to be absolute transparent because that's the only way to really fight it.
Oh, okay. And what I'm saying, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I think where sometimes I differ with a lot of people is I think a lot of people still think there's. Okay, I'll just use an example. Again, I can only use comedy and again, extrapolate that to so many other things. 100% transparency makes me not get booked. I cannot get booked being 100% transparent. Totally. I don't want to quit doing comedy though.
Right.
But I cannot use the mainstream. They will not book me, period. Doesn't matter. Comics go and complain. Even though I'm voted best comedian in the city, a fucking loser faggot comedian will go and complain to the booker and I get taken off the show, period. So but I don't want to quit doing comedy, but I can't use the existing infrastructure. So I have to go make my own. Now, making my own isn't as glamorous. It doesn't have as much legitimacy. I have to do a lot more work. In some ways it's more amateurish. It just is. Because I don't have that infrastructure, but I'm willing to do it because I want to do comedy.
Right. That's what I'm
getting at. Yeah.
Right. For sure. It's a long game. It's a cultural game and it's a long game. But
I'm okay with that now. 2020 helped me get there. When COVID hit, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life because I'm like, holy fuck, man. Now that I have a break from comedy, it had nothing to do with COVID. I'm like, do I even like doing this? Because the jury was starting to come in on my career, and I was starting to realize this ain't fucking going anywhere, right? But then I went, no, I think, as airy-fairy as this might sound or arrogant, I think I have a purpose with it. And again, it's not like, oh, comedy changes the world. No, that's fucking stupid. But like, I like doing it. Other people like doing it. Also, like you said, Peter, and we've talked about, I'll say the things that not you guys, but they're not allowed to say and wish they could say because they have jobs they can lose. I'll do that.
That's why I think it's such a, we're painted such a false picture of reality from the media and from these corporations and big tech and all of them to make everyone feel like 99% of the population are just radical leftists and there's just this one tiny little percent of crazy people. But that's not true. Like once you get into an environment that the left cannot control and manipulate, that's not reality. And so I think the roadblock standing in all of our way right now is obviously like we're not deep pockets. We don't have the resources or infrastructure to immediately build the next, independent Netflix or something. But I don't know. We just need to get there.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That's it. Just and be like hippies. Have communities, even if they're just virtual ones, right? Like everyone help each other. We have to be communist in a certain way. You know what I mean? Not capital C, but
do you know what I mean? Like
no,
you're
right. Yeah.
was like, like yesterday I went to get my hair cut and the guy cutting my hair was like super leftist and started ranting about politics. Literally every single fucking other person in the store, the other barbers, all of whom were either black or Hispanic, and the people in their chair were all for Trump, all saying like, oh, the lockdowns and shit were just to get Trump out of office. And like one of them was like, oh, I wasn't a Republican, but I am now. So we're not this little minority that we're made to think that we are. And like over the summer and shit, I live in freaking New York City. I swear to God, every time I would wear my Trump hat, just going to the grocery store, a dozen people would come up to me. If
you didn't know Mike was gay before, that he is now. Oh, just so you know, I live in New York. Just so you know, that's a drop.
Fuck off! It's miserable. Are you not?
Hey, I live in New York. I live in New York, and I've only fucked like 5 or 6 men's mouths. So that's
more than me lately.
Oh. We can get that to change. We can make Mark come down from.
We need to start a GoFundMe.
You just got to fight the government of Canada first.
We'll call it Go Fuck Me instead of GoFundMe.
Oh, that should be a thing.
Go fuck me.
Go fuck me.
Yeah.
No, New York is miserable. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Gonna go to Texas?
That's miserable too. People were like, "Oh yeah, move to Texas," and now it's like underwater. No, I was there and got chased by an angry mob. That's the one time I've been to Texas.
What about Jersey? A lot of people are going to Jersey, I heard. No? Okay.
Are they?
Fuck off, faggot.
Don't ever say Jersey again. How fucking dare you?
Shut up, you fucking spit.
Disgusting fucking...
fucking wetback.
Fucking your penis. Your penis is like that big.
I can't get a gardening job in New Jersey.
It's twinkling. I should go to Jersey. Fucking pepperoni nipples.
Poor K.
He has pepperoni nipples.
Does he have pepperoni nipples?
What about Florida? What about Florida? I heard
that's
Florida.
That's what I'm thinking, maybe. Yeah. I just don't know where.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's like it's gone to shit. Like, look at the state of every fucking leftist city. They're all crumbling.
Here's part of this conversation is that yes, in 2020, 2021, whatever the fuck, you can have a career and still have it be all online, which is lovely. But at the same time, I still think it's not just a joke. We look down on people from Jersey, but like there is a little more luster to somebody from New York or Los Angeles, or like you're experiencing now. Part of the reason that you're going from Vancouver to Toronto is not just that Vancouver shit, but there is more stuff in Toronto.
Well, there's more, the higher population. Yeah, it's a higher population, right? So
wait, so is Canada as closed down as at least New York is now?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
I can't take any more of this shit.
It's starting to open up. Kind of.
Really?
Yeah. So the city of Toronto's prayer, like you can't eat in a restaurant yet, but the outlying areas you're starting to be able to, which for me means I can start doing comedy. If you are allowed to gather in a restaurant, I can start doing stand-up. And I'm selfish, and that's all I care about. I don't give a shit if everyone else is locked down. I just want to do stand-up, man. But even if everyone is locked down, I'll go do illegal shows if I have to. That's what and we have a case coming up here in Canada. And I'm fucking pessimistic about a Supreme Court decision that's ruling on a comedian's joke. You might have heard of it. It's called the Mike Ward case, right?
No, wait, I haven't heard of that.
Google it. It's too much to explain here, but for those listening, Google it. It can give you more context. Anyway, a comedian's being sued for a joke, right? It's now at the Supreme Court of Canada, so they've given their arguments, both sides, and now they're deliberating on it. Can take 3 to 6 months. It will be the precedent for free speech in Canada, not just comedy, everything, right? And I'm pessimistic. I don't have a good feeling about it. I hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, great. But if I'm not,
what was the joke?
It's in French. You gotta go look it up. It's too hard to. He made fun
of a retarded kid, right?
Disabled, same thing, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, they're saying Canada's human rights legislation is saying that certain. It's basically the court has to decide is context, is intent, is artistic merit, does it override someone's personal dignity? But the kid wasn't just to give it a bit of context, then people can go look it up. The kid wasn't just some kid at a playground. He was a public figure. He was famous in Quebec, right? And so anyway, point being, okay, if the Supreme Court rules that You're not allowed to, like, intent, context, artistic expression don't matter. It's going to fucking open up the floodgates for grievance seekers, litigious grievance seekers, right? Especially against comics, especially against guys like me. They're going to start suing us. It'll start being like at work, because again, it has ramifications far beyond stand-up or art. Let's say you're at a job. They're going to tell everyone, hey, you guys can't joke around. Oh, no, we were just joking around about cats. No, you can't, because we're going to be liable. If fucking someone goes and complains, we can be sued for allowing it to happen. It's going to be like really gray USSR fucking commie shit up here, right? Anyway, I'll go to jail for comedy. I don't care. I already decided I'll go to jail for it. I don't give a shit. And I've worked too hard, man. And I've been to prison, and I don't want to go back to prison. Believe me, I don't, especially for something fucking gay like a joke. Can you imagine I go back into the joint? Last time I went in for home invasions and robbing a bank, and this time they're like, what are you in for this time? I said nigger on stage. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
Not just that. I said nigger on stage, and a white person sued me.
A white woman is suing me right now.
Die, white women, die! Sorry for that.
But this is it, man. And I it sounds grim and it sounds melodramatic, but it's like, I think we're all, in all of our cases, you especially, Mike, you got the most heat of all of us. Like, and I'm not a hero, I'm not a martyr, but I think it's where the world is at a place where we have to decide, like, what the fuck are we going to do about this shit, right?
Yeah, it's so frustrating too, feeling like you have no help at all. Especially, I spent a fucking year of my life traveling the country to elect this person, this doofus, and like to have no help from the party when my friends and I were literally doing what the fucking Republican Party should have been doing for years and years and years, and to just get nothing for that is frustrating, because it says so much. It is just such an encompassing problem that they just do fucking nothing. They do nothing.
I find a lot of it was nice to see that you guys had a group of very militant, fucking active, passionate group. No, not militant, just active, enthusiastic. I find
there was one black person.
I find, yeah. How come he was the one with the gun? Because all the queers didn't know where to get guns from. Jamal, can you get us a gun? Yeah.
Do I shoot this?
Yeah.
Do I?
Where to? Up here, one of the things that's really discouraging is a lot of the free speech libertarian, a lot, not all, but a lot. They're keyboard warriors. When push comes to shove, they won't get offline. It's fucking super frustrating, man. Yeah.
No, and the left, they put their money where their mouth is. They don't just sit online. They, like while Republicans were sitting on their hands for a decade, the radical left was taking over every school board, every local play, everything.
Here's why I think, right, here's what I think our main, and you guys have already been talking about it in different contexts before this episode and during, but the reason why they're keyboard warriors, the reason why they're more laissez-faire is because they think it will change. They think it will go back. I disagree with cancel culture, but as long as they're not canceling me, I'll be quiet.
They will.
And they will. So the main message, I think, is like Mark already said, and you, I'm sure, but like, is that this is not going to change. There is nobody else who's going to change this. You're it. We're out here. I mean, I know the non-humble thing, or the humble thing is to go, yeah, we're not martyrs. We're not, but kind of, you know what I mean? Yes, we have the artistic talent or the mouth or the mind to do what we're doing, but also a lot of people are funny. A lot of people are musically gifted. A lot of people are activists or good speakers, but we're the ones having the balls to do it. At the same time, if you want to help out or get moving, then you need to be supporting the three of us. You need to be out there fucking sharing shit. Oh, but people might be mad at me. Sack it up, fucking turd. Sack up, because really it is going to get worse. unless everybody comes together and like, yeah, I voted for Trump, or yeah, I don't think Biden's doing a good job, or yeah, I didn't vote for her just because she had a fucking pussy, or yeah, I didn't, no, I'm not watching fucking jerk off social justice warrior shit. Yeah, I'm not watching Blackish either. You need to help out. This is going to get worse.
What's Blackish?
What?
Exactly.
Okay, don't tell me. It sounds gay. Is it gay?
It's
gay,
very
right?
gay. It's Anthony
okay.
Anderson, faggot ass Anthony Anderson, DSLs. Why is it always the ones who are the most social justice warrior have big dick sucking lips? Have you ever seen Ta-Nehisi Coates? He's like two big lips.
God.
So Anthony Anderson, Blackish is a shit show that nobody likes. But it's like, okay, we're going to take this formulaic, like Modern Family, but paint everybody black so that you can go like, oh, I have to watch it because they're black is good. Right. Even though they're killing and attacking all the Asians. Sorry.
No, they have spinoffs too for literally like every race. There's literally like mixed-ish because they're half black. There's the half black one.
Right. I do have to say, though, that's part of the reason why I called the show. It wasn't exactly connected to it, but I wanted to be like, hey, this is,
I like that.
But yeah, it's on ABC.
That just says so much, though, that there would be there's not only Blackish, mixed-ish, there's another one, too. I forget what it is. But, like, that people will be expected to watch a show that's literally right there in the title, just because they're black, because they're half black, because they're,
and it's been on, I think,
lesbian.
I think it's been on since 2015 or 16 or 17. And it's easy to find the ratings. They've been steadily going down every year because they don't care about they care more about the message versus the comedy.
And that's because the wieners are the artistic people who are in charge now. That's the thing. Up here in Canada, the way the entertainment model works is what you guys should be looking to like not do. So the government funds everything up here. So you hire a bunch of queer, like fucking losers out of like liberal arts, right? And then they get into HR, they get into producing, they get in. And then because the client, the customer isn't actually the viewer, it's the government, which one could argue, yeah, it is, but whatever. They get the funding no matter what. It doesn't matter how many like CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, their viewership went down 25% in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
That's a fucking lot. Still get the same budget. If we're talking about hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, didn't matter because the client isn't the viewer. It's the government, right?
Yes.
And that's what you guys in the States have to look forward to potentially. It's going to go that way, right? And even if it's not the government doing it, you guys know this. These big corporations are pretty much the fucking government now, like Apple and all this shit, right? I think one of the reasons these fucking politicians don't take them to task is because Apple, Facebook, Twitter, they all go, oh yeah, well we'll just fucking turn the algorithms down on your campaigns. How about that?
We'll release your browsing history
or whatever. Because let's face it, what's whoever's running gonna do if Facebook goes or Twitter goes we'll just make sure we'll shadow ban you because we're a private company, we can do that. We'll shadow ban you. Well, what are you gonna do? Go to TV to run ads? No one fucking watches TV right? So maybe that's my theory.
Why we need laws.
Yeah.
People do not want to hear that, but it's the truth. I'm sorry. They're like, oh, big government. Well, we already have big government, and I'm sorry, but this is too important. There are some occasions where you need to use big government against itself, and then we can worry about the size of government after we solve this problem. It's too goddamn important.
Right. I think I already know the answer, but why didn't Trump do anything about it?
I don't know. I
think there's backroom shit where they just there's bigger like Illuminati stuff. I think and Illuminati doesn't mean lizard people or as they say in the biz, Jews. God. I think it's just big rich people. Rich people go, hey, Donald, don't fuck with the social media, eh? Like, just don't, right?
I don't think that as much as I think. Well, part of that like one thing about Trump is like, and I've said this for a long time, is like he just surrounds himself with the worst friggin' people. I mean, look at those people he had handling the election afterwards, who were able to do nothing. So I don't know, bad advice, I don't know.
I think also all politicians, and let's be real, a form of politician is being a CEO, is being a corporate person. And Donald has always been a CEO type of person. And so it's always message. And if you're playing chess, I think it's less about necessarily the lizard, maybe, or like the malicious or malevolent, type of thing, and more about, I need to win this election. And if I start fucking with Facebook, they're already fucking with me here, or people on the left or people who are in the middle are already like teeter-tottering on something. So if I go after, that's part of the reason why they were like, it took, Obama so long just to get the healthcare shit together, is because he was like fighting that fight. And they were like, well, why are you choosing this thing? So maybe Trump thought, all right, I'll wait until after the election type of thing.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, even it's funny though, seeing Republicans continue to do nothing after. I would think that this election and everything that happened would be such a wake-up call. But they're talking about the next election as if there's going to be a next election, with them doing nothing to ensure election integrity. They're doing nothing, and they think that they even have a chance of being allowed to win another election. Even if you just look at that Time Magazine article, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it talked about all of these billionaires and corporations who were changing laws, controlling the flow of information, and they were just allowed to do that. Republicans did nothing to fight it, did nothing. They were just outplayed at every turn, and nothing has changed. So I don't know. It unfortunately feels like there's just no opposition.
Right. Mark, you're all right for like five more minutes, Tim? Okay.
Let's give it 10, 15-ish. 10,
okay.
15-ish. Yep.
Here's another question I'd love as far as extrapolation goes. So a piece of what comforts me is the fact that I really know most people are pretty reasonable. Even liberals, when you get them off of social media, they may be like, oh, that's why anytime you listen to, what's that shit? There's so many different, like, somebody goes around and quotes, Trump said this, and they're like, I hate that. And they're like, actually, that was a quote from Biden. And they're like, oh, so I think most people are pretty reasonable. That's one comforter for me. Number two, most people, I think, enjoy the comedy and the type of shit that we do, and are fine with not dehumanizing people like us. And then the third thing is, I do at least want to stay alive long enough to see their faces. I do. In the gulag, I just want to see a bunch of social people, blue-haired cunts who are like, but I do want to, just because there is something comforting in at least that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I do. Up until COVID, I was doing comedy 15 to 20 times a week in front of all kinds of different people. The majority, in almost 8 years of doing comedy, I can count on, two hands, so about 10 times, give or take, how many times I've had actual problems with the live audience because of my comedy, right? Now, that doesn't mean everyone liked it, but they didn't cause a scene. Most people I talk to or do comedy for expect comedy to be wild and crazy and edgy and dirty. They just know that someone on the comedy show is probably going to say something taboo, naughty, whatever, right? It seems that the only the people who make a big fucking deal about shit like that is a small percentage of the population who just seem to, and I'm not saying anything original here, who seem to inhabit Twitter and Facebook. But unfortunately, they fucking control the flow of comedy clubs, even though every single audience member had a good time night in, night out, they're scared of fucking Twitter. They're scared of people who don't go to comedy clubs. It's fucking amazing, man.
Well, that's because this small group of people has just been given the keys to the kingdom. They are the inmates are running the asylum.
Yep.
It's crazy. And I think that's because it's been such an effective way of manipulating and controlling people. Like fucking, what's her name? Fucking Liz Cheney. I don't know if you saw the other day, Dick Cheney's daughter. She's a fucking congresswoman here. She said Republicans, their top priority needs to be showing people that they're not white supremacists. How about jumping by not being a white supremacist? As simple as that. Which, first of all, that's giving acknowledgement to this talking point by leftists that would even be up for discussion. But I think what we're going to see next is the establishment right, the fucking neocons and all the worst people getting on board with these sort of identity politics, because it's been so effective. It's such an effective way of manipulating the masses.
Yeah.
Yeah, black people have been successful for a really long time. Really long time. Just to put that message out there, black people have been doing just fucking fine for a long time. Now, I know numbers wise, comparatively, you could say blah, blah, blah. But 100 years ago, what was it? Or was it 1905, 1900? 95% of the population of the world was under the poverty line. And yet we've come to this level so quickly. So shit can change in a generation or two. And black people actually were doing better in the 40s and doing better in the 50s and doing better in the 60s than they are now.
Boo!
I know, right? Get to the back of the bus, motherfucker. No. And so it's a loss of perspective. It's a loss of, so that's why my main point is always the personal. It's always or I try anyway, to be intentionally myopic and make it personal, because that's the only way to affect is to save one soul at a time, one red pill, if you will, at a time.
Have you guys ever met someone who's a real SJW?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, what I mean by that is someone who not literally is not the right word, actually does want to help humanity. No, I have. Norm, oddly enough, again, you get them alone. I might not agree with them, and I still say faggot and nigger and all that, and they go, "Oh my god!" But they are actually they're rare. I think most people who spout off all this shit don't even believe it. It's a thing. No. It's a tool to bully people with. Mm-hmm. But the people who actually want to do it, and what I'm doing is I'm speaking to Peter's point, is even them, these people who really believe all this stuff, they actually just want to help the world. They don't want it at someone else's expense. They're I don't want to use the term brainwash because it's cunty or smug, but they just, this is the thing they this is their religion, and they actually believe that we need all these things are true and people are suffering. And Mark, why can't you don't you want to help them? And it's like talking to an evangelical Christian who thinks you're going to hell. Like you can't talk them out of it, but you can see the kindness and compassion behind it in their heart. They're rare. I don't.
Yeah, I don't really usually see kindness and compassion from most of them. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
The ones I've known are just...
They're fucking nuts. I know that's most of them, right? But most of them seem like they're fucking have some personality disorder or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
fucking people get mad at me when I say that. When I say they have BPD or something. No, not all BPDs are fucking crazy. BPD's sort of similar to psychopaths. It's like, yeah, okay, not all, but it's a diagnosis that's hard to defend. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like drug addict. I'm a junkie, right? So it's like, oh, not all junkies steal, but a lot of them do. On the behalf of the junkie community.
But Mike, you've actually definitely faced. Or no, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's true. You said that a lot of them, this is just your way of showing submission and being part of the in-group. That's how you show that you are one of them, by spouting this bullshit and spouting anti-Trump shit. I hung out with this one recently who he clearly believed none of this, but just was repeating it almost robotically because it's just what you have to do, I guess. Oh my God, I got into a fight with this fucking guy about masks, by the way. And I literally watched him right in front of me drop his mask on the ground on the New York City sidewalk as it blew away in the breeze, him chase it, pick it out of the dirt, and put it back on his face. But remember, it's for your health.
He could probably sell that on fucking OnlyFans.
On Go Fuck Me.
Go Fuck Me.
No, yeah. So I think The fight is personal. I think also part of the diagnosis, part of the problem is that young people are just always going to be that way. I remember in my 20s, I just believe things because I'm busy trying to keep a job and fuck. You know what I mean? And so you don't have time to really think a lot. You know what I mean? So I think part of the way we fight it is to also stop listening to young people. You know what I mean? I know that sounds stupid or maybe sounds heavy-handed, but it really is true. Young people have never really been the main. Maybe in the 60s, they were like, hey, we're going to march with Martin Luther King. Okay, you guys got one. You have one win on your record. Is there any point besides that where you've actually been beneficial to the world?
And this is part of the propagandization of our society, of humanity, is because social media is so ever present, omnipresent. And social media is visual, so value is always put on youth. So it ends up fucking kind of brainwashing all of us to kind of value, to look to youth a bit more, right? That one of the things we all got to do is fucking. I know I don't like saying it, and it's gonna be hard for me to do, but if you guys won't like it, I think we got to get off social media. I think social media's got to go. I think it's bad for society, all in all. I think the net positive is not, or its benefits do not outweigh its negatives or its costs. Having said that, subscribe to, like, share. Right? I'm a hypocrite, I'll admit it, right? But I think social media is bad for society. I think it is. In its present form. Okay, one of the other things I didn't like about Parler is you could see the algorithms hadn't been tweaked. One of the reasons we like a lot of these social media platforms is because of those algorithms. As evil as they are, they're designed to keep us engaged. Parler's algorithms were fucking boring.
Yeah.
They were, because they hadn't figured it out yet, right?
Well, and that's the problem, I think, with just building our own Facebook or Twitter, is that there's no way, I don't think, to get the majority of people who are just in the middle, unengaged, to that platform. Otherwise, it's just an echo chamber, and I don't want to be in a fucking echo chamber.
But the problem is if Facebook can just deactivate your account at any, I guess then you go back to change the laws, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe that's part of what we are. And as you know, going back to Mark's point about being a commune and you guys being my comrades or whatever, is that part of the way to wake people up or whatever. And I know I hate using that phrase as well, because it's just like, you patriot, brain, whatever. But like part of the way to help people is to be a lightning rod. And the three of us kind of are, you know?
But if they fucking deactivate all my accounts, that's the end of me, man. You know?
Same.
And Peter and I have talked about this. What do you think, Mike? Because Peter, I don't think he says it too much anymore because he's got his pee smacked. Well, why don't you just try and play within the rules and just?
Oh, that was one time. One time, you fucking douche.
Why don't you just not say that, Mark? Have you thought about toning it down? Hey,
I didn't say that.
Have you thought about fucking donating to Black Lives Matter? He said it. Yeah.
I actually made my pubes blue. I made my pubes blue, and
But I've heard some people, and I see what they're saying is try and stay on Facebook, Twitter as long. Not you, Mike. I know. Sorry, that's a sensitive spot. But try and stay on there as long as possible to be the lightning rod that Peter's talking about. But the problem is, it's like, it's hard with these fucking communities, these regulations, right? They could just fucking pull the plug anytime, right? So
it doesn't matter. You know, the entire walkaway group was banned from Facebook. They didn't fucking do anything. What was I banned from Twitter for? They just, if they have their eyes set on you, they will get you no matter what.
Like Sauron. And another part of that is that even if you play within the rules, it's not just that they will keep moving the goalpost. Even if you play within the rules, they'll just quietly tweak your shit so that people can't see it. So at least you guys got, or Mike, you got banned, so that's an overt, but they'll just do it covertly as well.
Oh no, I'm getting that too. I all the time on Facebook get people saying they never see my posts anymore. On Instagram, I had like 2,000 followers just purged from my account.
Just to put it in perspective, And who knows the reason why? I think I know the reason why. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so unsafe space. We're all familiar. We've all been right.
Hi, Carrie.
Okay,
Hi, Carrie.
Yeah, hello,
Carrie.
Carrie. They're too big to watch this.
I know, right? We've said that too many times.
Yeah. So when I was first on their show, summer, early fall of 2019, they had about a few more followers on YouTube than I did, right? Fast forward 2021, they have tens of thousands of followers now. Mine have gone up 200 followers on YouTube. And that's how they can do you. Just shit like that. And I'm not even saying YouTube's targeting me. I don't know. But I know for a fact, because people say this, I don't come up in anything. I post stuff. They don't know I posted it. They'll say for months I haven't seen anything. I'm like, you gotta hit the bell thing, or you gotta manually go into my thing. I don't come up on suggestions of any kind. One of my videos has a lot of hits, and it's not my video, it's Mark SJW Hughes' video, but it was on my platform. It's one of only 3 live interviews that Jessica Yaniv ever gave, and it doesn't come up in suggestions. And eventually, if you look, but it's like one of only 3, right? And who knows? One could argue it's because of preferences, or it could just be numbers. But that's how, like Pete says, just a raw example right there. Like I've been putting out this, not the same amount of content as Unsafe Space, because they do shit like multiple times a week. But I've been putting out a fair amount, at least one a week, if not more. And I've only gone up like 200 followers in almost 2 years. So thank you, all my followers who are watching this. Thank you very much. You are. But, yeah.
But Mike,
unsubscribe to the same thing. No, it's the same thing with mine. I mean, I spoke in a video at the fucking RNC and gained no followers on my remaining thing. None.
And actually, when I did a
video. I did a video for this big thing that got like 3 million views, and I get no followers from it. None. I lose followers. So yeah.
Well, that's part of the thing too, is that well, and maybe this might be a little much, but part of the other reason why, and I'm sure Carrie would acquiesce.
No, it's because there's a broad on there.
Vagina.
Yeah. There's a cute chick on there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And she's got an interesting.
You are, Mike. As cute as you are, but
she's got an interesting She also has an interesting backstory too. The XSJW, right? That's very in the zeitgeist now, right? So a lot of people would follow it just to hear that. But if it was a dude, same thing. Probably wouldn't be quite as. Mike, you could get more followers. You just don't post enough, bud. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's all it is.
Do that.
Yeah.
I'm just relaunching my channel on Monday.
Dude,
so
cute, young gay dudes are second only to hot fucking chicks in the hierarchy. Yeah, they are.
Actually, maybe that's what we need to do. Is Mark, you and I need to have an intervention. We need to get you black, Mike. We need to make you black, and also get you to cut off your pee so you become trans. As long as we can make you black and trans, we'll ride your coattails.
Then if he's black and trans, doesn't that mean he immediately has to kill himself?
Wow, very true. And he wouldn't hang out with the two of us either.
And then it gets included in a murder statistic that they never say the race of the perpetrator, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll start wrapping up. I love you guys very much. I'm so glad you came on the show. This has been a blast. Yeah, but seriously, Mike, put out more shit, or we'll find you.
I will Monday.
In your sleep. Oh, and where's our fucking rent video, you motherfucker? It's been like
after
3 months.
It's coming, I promise.
So, Markle, where can people find you?
It is Markle. Was he a Nazi? Markle?
No, I don't think so.
Angela Merkel. No, never mind. Angela Merkel's the head of Germany.
Merkel.
Absolutely not.
Merkel, yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah. Fuck, I tried.
Isn't that also the name of a pubic wig?
Mm-mm. I was going to say, Peter said...
What?
Peter said,
Merkin. Is that what it is?
No, it was Merkel.
Merkin?
Anytime I think of Germany, I just go right to fucking Nazis. And
I mean Mike's thing about a pube wig. I wish I had one of those for my head.
Is it like...
A gherkin.
Is it like?
Isn't it a gherkin?
What's a gherkin?
I don't know. Oh no, that's a pickle.
I wanted to say though that
Sounds
Peter
obscene.
Peter's informing us that we have to wrap it up is insensitive to Mike's gay culture.
That's true. I apologize.
Mike B.B. Harlow.
I have no idea what you're
Let's just put it out there too. Just as a quick side note. I, Peter Feliciano, officially recommend that nobody wears condoms. All right, now that's what. Anyway,
I've been
if they get canceled,
crap.
I might as well.
Anyway, I don't know.
So where can people find you, Mark?
At Mark Hughes Comic or Mark Hughes Comedian, some variation thereof on everything while I last.
Mike?
YouTube, Mike Harlow. I have a video coming out Monday. Or Instagram, Sleepy Harlow.
Now
Or
you
my
have
name
to
on
because you
Facebook,
said.
trying to find
Now
me.
you have
I
to
know.
because you said
I
on
know.
Conservatish. You said so.
Right,
Monday.
and I'm on Peter_Feliciano. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Also, remember, if you don't follow the three of us, it's because you're racist, homophobic, and Mark, you're trans, right? So and transphobic. So
I identify as a pussy willow tree.
Yeah.
I don't have any jokes for it. I'm sorry. All right. Well, I love the both of you very much. I'll go ahead and
Love
stop the
you.
recording now. Bye.